Okay, the first video in the series will be how to buy a car. Let's paint a scenario that you may likely be in, okay? You finally have a good job that allows you to afford to live alone, okay? So you make decisions now. You look to figure out accommodation and transport to work, okay? That's the main things to survive, and then food. Now, let's again paint another scenario. Let's say in this job, you're getting paid like 20,000 net. So that's what comes into your bank account every month, 20,000 Rand, okay? Now there's decisions to make, okay? What kind of cars can you get? Can you buy a car cash, okay? Most likely 20,000 net will not allow you to buy a car cash unless you remove some other aspects of you here solo. You can't necessarily stay with your parents, rack up the funds and buy a car cash. Your next best option is car financing. Car financing is not really a bad thing. I think it's one of the better forms of credit, and it allows you to have an actual tangible item at the end of the credit term. Of course, not everyone has the great amounts that it costs now to buy a new car. I saw Polos go up to about 500, half a million Rand for a Polo now. That just doesn't make sense. So, how does car financing work? Car financing allows you to pay a certain amount every month, and then you get the car at the end of the agreed upon term. So let's say your new car is 250,000. A good rule of thumb is for every 50,000 that you finance, it's 1,000 Rand per month in a car payment. So 250,000 will actually be about 5,000 Rand a month in a car payment. You must remember the total cost of ownership. It doesn't cost you 5,000 to have the car, it costs you 5,000 just to have the car in your parking lot. You have to drive it, that's petrol. You have to insure it, that's insurance. So that's gonna easily rack up to total cost of ownership of up to 9,000, half your salary on a car. Not good. So that clearly means you cannot buy a new car. And that is what I suggest. No one here should be buying a new car. If you buy a new car, it is priced at 250,000, 0 kilometers. The second you drive it off the dealership, the second you drive that 0 kilometer car off the dealership and you get it to 1 kilometer, you immediately shave 30,000 Rand. So let's say you just take it around the circle, you give it back to the dealership. They will say, we can only buy this car for 220,000 now. See, that's a problem. So what should you buy if you should not be buying new cars? You should be buying certified pre-owned cars, or you should be buying demo versions of cars. What about? Demo versions of cars are cars that the dealership uses when they're giving test drives or whatever, okay? Those are often sold at a discount because the depreciation has already been wrote. Those usually come under 10,000 kilometers. That's basically a new car. Certified pre-owned are just people that had the car for 2 years and traded it in. And a certified pre-owned, as long as it comes with warranty and stuff like that, it's good. Warranty and service plan. Those are two aspects that usually come with the purchase of a car. Every X amount of kilometers, usually once a year or every 20,000 or so, you have to take your car for a service. What does the service do? It looks at the oil levels, it looks at all the vitals of the car if it's okay, and then change the oil, change spark plugs maybe. Just the internals, let's not get too technical. Just the internals of the car, it makes sure it's still running smooth, and then it says, okay, all good to go, so you don't have a big bill in the end. So it's just to keep the car running. So in that total cost of ownership, every year you must budget for a service. The average cost of a service gets you from 2,000 to about 5,000. That's the range. That's called a minor service. The minor service, they just look at small things, okay? The major services, I think they changed brake pads and stuff like that. The major services, those can rock you up anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 depending on your car. Now, if you have a service plan, that's basically insurance on the service will be free. So when you buy a car, make sure it has at least 2 to 3 years of service plan still left, so that you can at least take that on. But a lot of the cars' service plans are now diminishing, so at least it has at least a year. A year of service plan is better than no service plan at all. That is a service plan. What is a warranty? So warranty is after your purchase, anything that breaks on your car, they will fix for free. Let's say you have a sunroof on your car, you bought the car, sunroof's not opening anymore. If it's still within the 2 years of warranty, you just take it in, they'll fix the thing for free. So now let's go into the actual purchasing of a car. What is our main metric used to determine if a car is viable for us? The main metric used is mileage. So how many kilometers has the car driven? So that's what you look at. If a car is 1 year but driven 300,000, it's close to end of life, kind of, it's just been driven a long time. You can get the same car 1 year for less mileage. Low mileage, it depends on the year. The average in South Africa is every year you are to drive 20,000 kilometers per year, okay? The car is a 2020 model, you want to buy it in 2025. So you go 5 years of 20,000, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. If the car is above 100 Ks, 100,000 kilometers, if you find a gem, which is a car that's 5 years old with only 20,000 kilometers, that's super low mileage, that's a purchase. In terms of cars, I can tell you that can be a separate video on affordable cars for young gents. I'll make that video, but this is just the process of purchasing, okay? I've explained pricing to you, and now you want to look at insurance. Vitally important in terms of your car decision. Different cars, of course, come with different insurance prices or premiums based on their risk level to own. So a Polo, high risk car, high level of insurance. There are also cheaper cars to insure that are just generally less high risk. What also contributes to the price of your premium is location. I've seen an instance where a Polo was insured for 2,000 plus in Durban and was insured for 1,000 plus in Cape Town. Now, the reason I mention insurance is because insurance contributes to the total cost of ownership for your car. So a quick and easy way for you to kind of gauge what you're going to be paying for insurance is to go onto Naked, download the Naked app, and from the Naked app you can just run inquiries on whatever car you want. One thing I would suggest though, when going for insurance, is go via a broker or financial advisor that's not linked to one company. They can provide a crap ton of quotes to you really fast, and then they can also tell you which one is best value in terms of what their clients have seen in terms of claims. When I say claims, what I mean by that is, if you get in an accident, does this insurance company give you a hassle about it? So I always suggest go via a broker. They have the relationship with the different insurance houses. Otherwise, you're stuck with Googling every insurance company in South Africa and kind of trying to find who gives the best rates, emailing 10,000 people and such. Sorry, my washing machine is going on right now. Hope it doesn't affect the audio too much. But that's in terms of insurance, okay? Important point to note about car financing is balloon payments. What is a balloon payment? A balloon payment is where there's a portion of the funds set aside for a later date. If you buy a car that's 250,000, you want to make it cheaper, you can put 50,000 in a balloon for later, then you only finance 200,000. Remember how I mentioned every 50,000 is 1,000 in car payment. So a 250,000 rand car costs 5,000 rand in car payments, but a 200,000 rand car costs 4,000 in car payments. So if you want to shave off that 1,000, you put the 50,000 in balloon payment. I'm saying it very neutral because I'm not suggesting or not suggesting it. My thing is, don't put in a balloon payment if you don't have to. Own your first car outright. Get it cheap enough to where you can, tag out the 5 years or go shorter, own your first car outright, then your next cars you can play with, and don't sell that first car. Own your first car outright and you can play with the other cars, okay? The reason I bring this up is you want some sort of tangible asset that you can sell if you're stuck for one day for 150,000 or something of the sort, okay? Now, balloon payments. The reason I'm on the fence about them is, so there are instances where they're okay. Weirdly, there are instances where balloon payments are okay. The cons far outweigh the benefits because that 50,000 is parked. And at the end of whatever period you agreed upon, 5 years for example, you will have to refinance that or pay it in cash. If you don't, then of course I think they take away your car or something of the sort. Another way to make your car payment cheaper, what goes into the calculation of a car payment? It's your total cost of the car, deposit, interest level, interest rate, I mean, deposit, interest rate, and term. Okay, the balloon payment takes in place the deposit. What's a deposit? A deposit is where you go put a lump sum. So let's say you have the car started on 50,000, you have 50,000, you put it in there, and now you get the car down to 200,000, and you finance just that 200,000. There is a point to be made that you should wait for your first installment to go past, and then whatever you had as a deposit, put that in afterwards. Okay, but you can do it's gonna be a whole long video around finances. You can do your research around that. How else to get your car cheaper? You can get your car cheaper by having a better interest rate. That's not in your control. Okay, sometimes the banks will say, if you go with us, we'll give you a 0.25% less on this or whatever. It's not in your control really, interest rates. Okay, it's nothing you can affect on the spot, is what I'm saying. The next thing you can affect to make the car cheaper is term. Cheaper on a per month basis, please. Okay, it's because on long term it's not. So what I mean by this is, usually the car financing deals last about 5 years, but if you stretch it out to 7 years, for example, you pay less on a monthly. My suggestion is to always pay off the debts as fast as possible. But I understand there are instances, like really crazy instances, and I want you to know how you can make the system work to help. But I also want you to know the risk of it. So you mustn't I don't like these people that give you the one way to do it, and that's about it. If you want to get a cheaper car, the option is there to extend over a longer period of years. So if you want the cheapest car possible, not suggested this, you take the highest balloon you can. I think they cap it at 40%, I'm not sure, 30% of the principal amount. You take the highest balloon you can and you stretch it out over the longest term. When is a balloon okay? Argument is to be made, a balloon is okay when you fully plan on trading in the vehicle. If you plan on trading in the vehicle, which I do not suggest, but just pay all your vehicles to term, and then you have money. Otherwise, you're just dumping money. Essentially, your car payments is the cost to rent a car at that point, you know? So my thing is always pay your cars to term. But if you can't, it's fine. That's where, to make the car cheaper, you take it over the longest term and you put the fattest balloon. To pay the car faster, no balloon, highest deposits you can, shortest term, or no deposit you can, the shortest term you can. But yeah, that's essentially the buying guide for vehicles in South Africa, just in terms of the financing of things. There are also, I'm going to come with the cars to choose, how to search for cars, and everything of the sort in another video. I hope you enjoyed, and again, apologies for my washing machine going off. I did not expect it to do that right now, but we'll chat.